This is the fertilizer.
Okay. Sure. Fertilizer question is the cat right here.
Yeah, so I thought you were just attaching a little bottle or something, but that's a big bottle.
That's a big bottle.
And then you got a hose.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was centrifuge.
Okay.
But sounds like you're pumping it in there.
Pumping it, yeah.
Yeah.
We're pumping 3200 in. So UAN. And 10 pounds an acre. And I've been putting roughly 50 gallons of water with about 5 gallons of fertilizer. So you'll be doing these 2 blocks.
That's just
100 gallons of water and 10 gallons of fertilizer.
Of nitrogen.
No, I have the fertilizer in the tank, but that bucket over there down back, looks like a written weed.
What kind of powder nitrogen do you use?
It's actually liquid.
What's a liquid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's ammonium nitrate solution. Yeah. Okay. And then you just water it down.
Yeah, basically. They don't grow it anymore in France for the same reason. It's just erratic. It doesn't set. It sets quick. So you want to see the quad?
Yeah, that was behind us here.
Well, yeah.
Can we get away from this thing a little bit so it's not as noisy?
So why are they at shoulder height? Is there any specific reason?
So I asked this in Rhonda's class. You know,
seems like it'd be tough to work on.
I've seen some pictures from Grass Valley where they had the cordons are like up here, and the grapes are hanging down. This is back from I don't know Prohibition or something time. And she said, yeah, nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
They used to up there, but.
Yeah. So you can see it's going to close in pretty quick here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be just some beautiful. I mean, the fruits is all going to be in a really nice light. I really like this growth, so I'll never plant it again.
Because everybody else hates it.
There are management issues to it, and nobody pays me any extra for it.
Oh, can the vines pay you more for it by getting more tons per acre, conceivably?
Well, I don't know.
Like you say, if it produces a little more vigor, a little more.
I don't know how many meters of wire I can put it, right? So along this way and along that way, across the vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm putting these this many positions on this one trunk,
Right.
and then that one's that much far away. This solves the vigor problem.
Yeah.
But doesn't necessarily give me more per
acre.
It's that I don't have as many straws in the milkshake.
Do you have to put in double the water and?
So think of that for the final. And think about the idea. Well, what I said to you before about that. What do you do with if you do have extra capacity? What do you do with it? Do you just struggle with it, and cut it off, or whatever it is, or you try to figure out a different way to use it?
Harness it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's so you walk down. So there are 23 different rootstocks in here.
Oh, really?
And some of them do really well.
some of them don't.
You can see a lot of differences.
The other thing about wide spacing versus close spacing is that if you kill a vine at a wide spacing, you lost a lot more meters of wire than if you kill a vine at close spacing. Something to consider when you're thinking about what the economics are and that kind of stuff. Then you've got to train it up again, and that takes more time to do a longer piece. Replanting dead vines is a real bitch, because you farm a vineyard differently when it's brand new, when you're training it, than you do when it has fruit in it. But if you only have a few vines in it that are being reestablished, they have to take the back seat. You got to farm for the fruit that you have.
Right. So they might not get the same baby
They're not gonna
care.
get enough water.
Yeah.
So I don't know, this doesn't come up, but when you train out cordons, some people wrap the canes around the wire, and some people just lay it on the wire. If you wrap them around the wire, and then you have E-typa, you can't always get them off.
That
Here's
one's
a
moving.
piece right here that the guys said, I'm done with this. I'm gonna leave it.
So they cut it off and they just left it there.
Yeah. It just rose inside of the
Yeah,
wire.
our vineyard's full that were actually, the vines actually just, even, they weren't necessarily wrapped around it, but it's all kind of grown over the wire.
Yeah, you can see it. Well, they will grow over it eventually,
Yeah.
but that's not as bad as actually
Right.
if you actually.
Purposely wrap them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But the wrapping thing means that cordon is level, so which can be important for apical dominance and stuff like that. Believe it or not, a little bit makes a difference. So if you do wrap them, the first wrap is underneath versus being on top to keep it down, and then it's all like that way. See, this is going to be a problem here. So this is redone because of E-typa. It's cut off.
Oh, and now you're bringing the other cordon from
I'm bringing something from over here down here. You have this huge arch right here. This is always going to be dominant. And it could be that we're going to leave this now, and if we get something to push down lower, we'll come out and do it for now. But
It looks like they were intending to grab this at one point or something.
no, these are always there when they first trained out this trellis.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about something that takes a long time to train out. This comes up every time you head a vine. It takes about 3 weeks, maybe like that, before it starts rolling again. Right, in order to get the like, these are growing real fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these laterals aren't. So if I headed it right here, it takes some amount of time to get the idea they need to get rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So we head it back here. Takes some time for these to go out. Then this comes out here. We head it back again, and then we had to go this way.
Yeah.
This takes a long time to get this thing established.
So normally it's about 3 years to get up to cordons, bilateral cordons.
Yeah, let's go for 4.
4?
Yeah. If you have enough horsepower in the rootstock. Some of the other rootstocks weren't, you know, they didn't have the horsepower, and so
Because you
it
have
took
such
even longer.
diversity in
Right.
rootstock, yeah. Are any of your blocks organic? Too much trouble?
We really couldn't do that yet.
Yeah, I mean you got a lot of pressure treated, I know.
We just have so many different things. People want to do different experiments, apply different materials, whatever it is. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
And you can't have one little organic block right next to one that's not.
It seems kind of fallacious anyway or something, because you know you get China steel, and you're saying that that's better than pressure treated, you know, pine or something.
There's a poorly defined concept called sustainability.
Yeah.
And I think that trying to define that is really going to be a good idea. And I think that what it means is, at least one aspect of it, what kind of thing you're talking about, is can you describe the amount of carbon that it takes to do something or another, to do a job, or to buy something?
Yeah.
My son's a automotive engineer, and he talks about drill pipe to tailpipe or something like that, describing all the things that happen to the fuel to get to that place. So, and I always started the first place. I started here for 10, 15 years. You got to try to figure out a way to tell me that spraying sulfur every 10 days with big tractors and blowing stuff around is better for the environment than spraying some sterile inhibitor or something that lasts twice as long.
Yeah, Dow Chemical, something or other.
And
Yeah.
it's even worse, I think, for weed control. Organic, the problem, the big problem, always is weed control for organic guys. That's their undoing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control weeds. So, but what they'll do is they'll go and they'll take these mechanical cultivators, go through the soil and do whatever they do to break us up and try to do this. It takes a big tractor. It takes a lot of fuel to drive that big tractor, and that stuff. There's some price to be paid for compaction of the soil, but especially at the time of the year where you have weeds, there's some moisture in the soil at the same time, or the weeds would be dead.
Well,
right?
with weeds comes insects too, so now you have more
just,
problems.
Just add that stuff up,
Yeah.
and then you compare that to some guy with an ATV.
Yeah.
Going through with a little tiny motor, going real fast,
Spraying
with
Roundup.
tire Roundup.
Yeah.
And you tell me which is the thing that's more environmentally sensitive. I'm not saying I know the answer. I think we ought to know the answer, and that ought to be part of some sort of kind of a program that says, listen, we're not slaves to any one kind of definition. We have a goal. Our goal is to farm our vineyards using the least amount of carbon and being as environmentally sensitive as we can. And I think that I was going to plant what I call a sustainable vineyard, and I was going to have one vineyard that was a demonstration of what I thought was the current ideas, another vineyard that was be used to learn things. So we would try to figure out these differences between Roundup and mechanical cultivations, and then depending on what we learned there, we would apply that back to this other vineyard. And the organic guys who think that sometimes that there's some version of sustainable. I mean, he said, "Would you even consider Roundup?" I said, "Yes, of course." Got up and left the room. It's not. I don't think it's a very helpful attitude.
No. It's just anti-corporation, anti-chemical.
He's of some religion, and that religion, there can be no other conversation.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit into what my religion is telling me now.
Well, it's like sulfur that's a byproduct of oil production versus sulfur that's mined.
Right.
Some people believe that the oil production sulfur is actually higher quality, and
Well, what are you going to do with the sulfur otherwise?
yeah. Might as well use it.
You have it there.
Yeah, it's
right?
a byproduct. You might as
Right,
well use
at
it.
that
Yeah.
point, it's
Right.
really closer to pure element than
Yeah.
it is anything else.
Yeah, it is
I mean,
pure.
than
Yeah.
oil. There's like oil. There's no trace of it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think we can be open-minded in order to do a better job.
Yeah. Well said.
And that's the show.
And a great one it has been.
And you guys all know how to get me, and I'm here in case you want to come by and see anything.
Is this-
Different time of the year, like anything like that?
How would you describe this trellis system? This isn't GD, or is it GDC?
But GDCs, I didn't bother to go into it because you'll
Yeah.
learn it if you want to do it. But we can't
Yeah.
really use those here.
Yeah.
Those are mostly for real trellising, trailing. I don't know, but
Yeah.
like Concord, where it really Nebraska vines,
Yeah.
they actually will grow down.
Yeah, they
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
they'll go down. Right.
Yeah.
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 These, I
They
mean,
still continue to grow. once
if
they
I don't
grow.
have a way to hold these off,
Yeah,
these are going to break.
Okay.
I'll break a lot of shoots.
You get a windy day and they'll just start snapping.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
right. That's not going to be that way here.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's going to go like that versus like that. It's going to, it's going to do this.
Towards each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even in Lambruscas, a lot of those are grown on a high wire.
Yeah.
Kind of you grow them like this, but instead of training things up, you train things come down,
Down.
instead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a whole other can of worms, and that's where that trellis comes from. So we call this a GDC, but it's
Yeah.
not.
It's not really.
No.
Yeah.
And that's where I got really pissed off. A lot of people were trying to tell me things like, "I'm going to put a Y on my trellis." I don't even know what it is. I really, you got to think of me as ignorant, right? You need to explain to me what it is that you're talking about.
We're the consultants.
Right. And so, for instance, if you're going to put this trellis on here, if you had said, "I'm going to put a GDC," what would you have said about this? I want to know, like, where is this? I want to know how wide that is.
Yeah.
Then I want to know, why do you think that width is a good width? And this height is a good height?
And how does that affect capacity? And
Well, that's,
yeah.
I want to have that, see some of that discussion. Because that's what that's what you have to do for yourself. When it comes time to plant a vineyard, you're going to have to say, you're going to walk out there, I know the questions. You're going to say to yourself, well, I wonder where I should put it. Well, go through that process and think about where you should put it. You're probably wrong right now, but heck, at least you thought about it. I don't really care.
School of hard knocks. You learn, right?
Whatever, yeah. I don't care about the answer. I care about the process that got you there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Still don't even know where they come up with that. I don't know what I would call it. Because clearly, it's not. You said it's not clearly not a GDC.
Yeah.
It's a quadrilateral trellis of some kind. It works really well.
Seems to.
Yeah, we like it.
What's the varietal you're growing in here again?
Yes.
Cabernet Sauvignon. Okay. On a bunch of different rootstocks.
Do you remember why?
I
That's a lot of money for it.
think I just failed a quiz.
I'm trying to imagine these shoots to like 50 here, so 2 clusters. I mean, where else? How many clusters, if you just let the shoot go, would form in a shoot?
The clusters are formed the prior year.
Right.
So these two are fixed before bud break. Okay. If we get more, it's going to be off the lateral shoots, which we don't want. Some people want them. We don't want them. And so these are fixed.
Okay.
There's a fixed number here. It is in Cabernet Sauvignon. It is less than 2 per shoot on an average.
Just
1.5,
based on the
1.6.
botany of it.
Yeah, well, some shoots don't have any, and they get left, and how that works. Like here's one here. This account. This only has 1. Well, it has 1 in this little thing right here, which is not going to get counted.
Yeah.
Some other varieties, Sangiovese may have more than 2, approaching 3. Petit Verdot maybe even 4. It's crazy, but they're varietal difference, but they're fixed at bud break.
Wine production course, there's a article in there, I forget which is either the course material or a whatever, the journal.
Yeah.
Basically, you can actually like take a cross section of the bud before bud break and count the clusters.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Determine your, you know, how you want to.
Then what do you
prune
do?
and Such. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do with that?
You can't change it, but if you know you got 4 and you really only want 2, you might just do 1 shoot per spur instead of 2 or something to manage that to some degree.
Even this year I left extra stuff with the idea that I'm going to wait and see, because cluster number is not it, right?
No,
it's set.
Yeah.
It's set. It's set. Okay, so I think I'm going to have a pretty good crop this year. But all I have now is buds, flower buds. I don't have any berries even.
If
it rains then you're gone. So let's give myself a little bit of an insurance policy here. I can, like we said earlier before, I can take stuff away, but I can't put it back.
When would you start doing that if you're going to drop fruit? Closer to veraison, or?
I'm gonna at least gonna be after well, with Cabernet it's not gonna be a problem. What I mean is I'm not going to get 4 shoots.
You're not going to get enough.
I'm going to get my 1.5 shoot clusters, whatever it is. I'm going to carry as much as I can, but I'm going to take out the entanglements. That's what I'm going to do. This touching fruit and getting in like this, I'll clean all that stuff out. That's how I'm going to thin, if I'm going to thin.
Okay.
But when the clusters are entangled, we can't allow that to happen.
And you can't infer anything based on the size of this plot right now.
No.
What they could.
Well, no. I mean, I've seen enough clusters that these are fairly small in comparison to the ones that we saw that you would have seen at the other ranch. But see, this is getting to be like a nice size one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This one here, nice. I had a dream the other night that they would go the clusters. I don't know what I was on. Like, whoa!
Some good wine that night.
Touching the soil, and I was worried about that.
Not the size of it.
Right. All right, that's good. I'm serious, but anybody who ever wants to come by and visit, drop me a line. You can find my name on the UC website.
Oh, so like a year from now, and I'm having trouble in the vineyard, I can drop you a line?
If you're having trouble in your vineyard, you want me to come up there, you have to write me a check.
Yeah.
But you can come visit.
Do you do house calls like that?
Sometimes.
I know Rhonda and Donna both do, right?
Yeah, Donna's right in your neighborhood. So
Yeah.
she lives in Sutter Creek.
Yeah.
So is this also part of the Davis research area?
Yeah, is our second 20-acre piece. Yeah, that's to the receiver in the lab back at the
Oh yeah.
green building.
It's like Wi-Fi or something. Huh?
Right.
So do you do like different experiments on different blocks every year?
It's whoever comes in and does whatever they're going to do. I kind of left with what the legacy is. Like 23 rootstocks in one block.
Whatever they
Nobody
did to you.
figured it anymore. I'm supposed to grow grapes in there. This is a Merlot block, and it's got 3 different rootstocks in it. One's 1103 and one's 5C. They don't have anything to do with each other.
So you probably have one of the most challenging vineyard management jobs.
I think I probably do.
Yeah.
In the valley.
Yeah.
So it's more about people are doing combinations. It's not about, okay, how are we going to farm it to see if that's different? Like,
Right.
Because it might be
Right.
comparing like 3 different rootstocks
Right.
yeah.
in the same row.
Right. Right. Like your
The
midterm
journals are
exam.
reading, we're like, oh.
Midterm exam. Vineyard's right by where that fan is, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The one that says Bear River Wind Machine.
What do you
Yeah.
think are the couple most important discoveries that have come out of all these experiments that have actually impacted the industry?
Well, over time here, one of the things we've learned that nobody in the industry is paying attention to is that you can put a lot of yield on these grapevines and have really nice wines. And people don't listen to that. They just will not accept
They're all
that.
about tons per acre.
Yeah.
It's got to be below this.
Yeah, they will not accept it. I think the way the rootstocks perform is very important. I think the biggest thing that happened the midterm exam was to see that the pruning weight of the 5C, it kept chugging along for about 6 or 7 years before it got to, it was as big as 110R
Eventually.
by the end.
Yeah.
But it took it that much time.
Yeah, it was a real slow
So you gotta
starter.
be thinking, and the reason, and for that is the reason I asked the question about the economics, because during that time, what's happening? That vineyard, that vine is taking more, more of the site capacity is available to that vine over time, but it takes that many years to get it. Would that mean that you could have cropped it differently up to that point, or should have, maybe to get it more? And then if you had a good yield at year 4 with much less pruning weight, could you have used that increased pruning weight at year 6 or 7 to make the yield more somehow?
Yeah. Yeah, because the economics, you're losing, $5,000 a year or something. And,
Right.
Yeah.
It's that first year money is big money.
Yeah, you're starting out.
Yeah. If you can get even a little crop at year 2, even a ton per acre at year 2, you're a happy guy. Because you paid that year, here at least, that $7,000 that I got for that ton is the $7,000 I paid for the vineyard management company to do it.
So Sunridge is selling vines that are already, up here, right? They have a product like that.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, they had it at the symposium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that does because I always believe that in the first year I don't really care what comes out, what's on the top. I'm growing roots. You only can have so many roots in that situation.
Yeah.
Probably a lot less roots. Well, I know a lot less roots than that vine had when it was in the field. Now you cut all the roots off, stuck in the vineyard. What do you want to have? What do you want it to do?
Right. It's going to spend time the first year growing roots.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What
yeah.
you would have then you would, because these things they'll go up that thing. I don't know, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even just gardening at home, I found like a lot of plants do better just direct seeding instead of
Yeah.
starting the greenhouse ahead of time.
Yeah.
The direct seeding one's going to catch up to them and blow them out of
Right.
the water by the end of the season.
They have a
Right.
better root system,
Yeah.
and they haven't been
Exactly.
screwed with. Yeah.
A proper root system, yeah.
Yeah.
Those little things, little 6-packs, all kind of
Yeah.
wrapped around.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, right.
Those
Yeah, they're in a knot.
Those
Yeah.
don't perform as well as direct seeding
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Except for like peppers and tomatoes where you need those hot temperatures.
Yeah.
But
So it is a secret what producers you sell to?
No.
No, it's not a secret.
Silverado, Cornerstone, Pump Jack, a couple of small wineries, one's even in Sacramento, a couple ones down this way, Kiever, and this real small guy.
does these vineyards have names that they feature on the labels too? Or?
No, but we're going to work on that. Well, I think we're in a place right now, as I said, I was talking this morning before you guys got here on the phone, you have to say, well, are we going to be in business? Up till now, we sold grapes because we had them. Are we going to start planting blocks that just to be in business?
Right.
Which would be a real departure for us. And it's sort of a sad thing again for me. Because think that our mission should be here is to collect data that is valuable data.
Yeah.
And that people should be giving us money not for grapes, money for us to learn things, so that we don't have to so that we can do things here, so they can make money on their property, not that we should make money here.
There should be a consortium of wineries that are all chipping into some kettle, right?
That's sort of the
What
that's
about
the
the
goal.
What about the UC Davis winery itself? Is that going to have product that's for sale like the Fresno
No.
winery does?
Well, that's not the plan now.
No, but I mean, it seems like that might be the way to take this,
You
do
know, it's not.
research
You
on
know,
it, and
that's
then put it out as a product.
the
too.
Fresno guys don't make any money,
No, but I mean,
and
it's not about making money, but keeping the ball rolling.
Right,
more than anything
yeah.
else, right?
yeah, I don't know.
So you're selling grape contracts to those wineries that are locally here, or do you just sell when you get to harvest? You say, I've got tons
No,
ready.
no. We have long-term relationships.
Yeah.
You want that as a producer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You want to lock it in.
Right.
I know one of the guys up in Pilot Hill last year ended up shipping most of his grapes out to New York. He couldn't sell them in the foothills.
Yeah.
So they put them on a train.
Yeah.
There's a carbon footprint there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then they get the fruit sitting there, in bins. Yeah. So you look at the
We
quality
sold-
when it gets
we
there.
sold several tons of Merlot to somebody in Indiana. Like they brought the stuff for us to put it into. It was like these old cherry bins too. With like holes in the bottom and like juice is just slipping out of it. It was the weirdest thing in the world, but they paid by the ton at harvest. So
And what did
it
they
was-
crush?
yeah,
It's
I
like,
know. By the time we got back there, it's going to be oxidized and everything else.
Usually not pretty.
That's what they wanted. So you're like,
I bought ones in Cincinnati before I bought grapes and bought them in the 500 pounds, and that's what they freeze them and shipping them in a reefer. Well, the grower was kind of sketchy anyways. But yeah, they weren't.
we got a deal from this guy out in Orland off Highway 5 where he said the mechanized harvester doesn't hit the last 6 feet of the rows. So he said you can come and hand pick them for free. So Mike and I went out there and they're making white zin, so they're picking them at like 19 bricks or something, And we're out there in August and it's 105 degrees out there on Highway 5. We're picking for hours. We put them in the bins and then we have to drive like 3 hours back, to the foothills to go crush them. We ended up with crap. It wasn't even worth the time.
We learned something.
yeah, or go down there a few weeks later and get them, at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
Such.
they were harvesting at night. Yeah.
No, but I'd go later when their stuff's ripened a little more than that 19.
Well, that's
When
true.
it's
Yeah,
at,
wait till 24 or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
go back. Yeah. So we're done?
We're done.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much, Mike.
There's
Thank
some
you.
water over there if you want water when we get back or whatever,
Okay.
or you just leave from here.
I got a bottle of water, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic, you guys. Thank you very much for coming out.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Hope you had a good time.
We did, yeah.